Hey guys, welcome back. Laser here, and today we're gonna have a bit of a guide, a bit of a beginner's guide for Zephyr Prime. I say beginner simply because there are plenty of guides for Zephyr out there, and of course the builds will not change from Zephyr to Zephyr Prime, but not many of them actually explain things for a new player to understand. I say these things simply because I am a new player, I do watch guides, and some of the time I simply am left clueless because the host simply assumes you should know a whole lot of things. So we're gonna jump into the actual build, then we're gonna cue some gameplay. So again, I'm gonna take a bit of a more noob friendly approach simply because I myself am a noob. First off, we're gonna start with the era. I got physique for the increased survivability, 18% health. However, ideally, from my point of view, you should use corrosive projection. We're not gonna go any further. We're gonna look at this number right here. I got 74 mod capacity, so that means I can equip a whole bunch of mods. Most don't explain this, but the way you get this up is actually quite simple to do yet hard to obtain. You need an Orokin reactor. Installing an Orokin reactor will double your mod capacity. Now these things are pretty rare. Mostly you can only see them after events, during events, on an alert, something like that. I've been playing this for, I don't know, a better part of a month, and so far I have only seen 2 given away at alerts and stuff like this, so they're pretty rare. So that's how you double your mod capacity. To get the most out of your Warframe, you will definitely need to have one of those Orokin reactors. So we're using continuity, of course, that is mostly mandatory for this build. Ability duration, we're gonna go for a lot of ability duration because we want to be able to get the most out of our 4 ability, which of course are the tornado flow, so we can bank a lot of energy again. So I don't want to spam one ability and then be like, wait, I have only 1 more cast and then I'm done. You want to use your one ability to get from place to place quickly as well, and again, especially if you're out on the fields, absolutely you will want the extra energy. Intensity for ability strength, because again, the tornadoes are the star of the show here and we want them to be able to deal some damage. Now for ability strength, we got intensity and power drift. The chance to resist knockback is nice, but that's not what important. And power drift, by the way, in case you don't know, you get it from the moon, from the challenge rifts. Nobody told me this. I kind of had to Google for like 10 minutes to find out. So there's that. For ability strength, again, we would want Augur Secrets. This is a mod you get from the bounties on the plains. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my hands on one, and people are selling them in the chat for way too much plat, and I'm not comfortable paying it. I don't pay for anything, I simply farm. Vitality for survivability. If you want to buff your shields instead, by all means, I recommend Vitality straight up. If you have primed of any of these mods, then by all means use them. I am a new player. I do not have fancy mods, so not primed anything. Streamline for ability efficiency, because we don't want it to cost too much. Augur message, again, for ability duration. Like I said, we want our tornadoes to stay up as long as possible. And funnel clouds, which is mostly, well, it's the heart of the build. This is an augment for Zephyr that you get from your syndicates. If you do not have the correct syndicates to get funnel clouds, hop on over to the trade chat and ask to buy it. Normally people are selling it this as low as 5 plat, 10 plat, something along those lines. It's a tornado augment and it creates 8 additional tornadoes. All tornadoes are 50% their original size and won't pick up enemies. Meaning what? Meaning if they don't get picked up, they can still damage you. So you gotta keep that one in mind. The way the tornadoes work now, they will pick up the element of the biggest hit they took. So if somebody with a giant shotgun comes and hits with corrosive, they will turn corrosive. If somebody else hits with a bigger shot that is heat, it will pick up heat, and of course the color of the tornado will change accordingly. And the final one is Constitution. This one, once again, is for ability duration. We're banking a lot of ability duration here. Now again, ideally you would want Augur Secrets in there, and probably would have dropped Streamline for Augur Secrets, but this is what I got so far. Anyway, this is the build in a nutshell. This is not necessarily the most efficient way. This is simply what I've been having fun with. So let's cue some gameplay. Now probably the best place where to showcase Zephyr would be on the plane, simply because here getting from point A to point B in the lowest amount of time determines how efficient you are. And Zephyr has her one ability which will practically allow you to fly. Okay, it's not straight up flying, but you dash through the air really quickly over a large duration. And with all the ability efficiency we built, that means spamming our one key is terribly cheap, as you can see. Now if you want to fly for larger distances, that is totally possible. You're just gonna have to build a bit more into ability range. Stretch, auger reach, these two mods definitely will help you out. I found out that I don't really need it with this build simply because I can spam my one ability quite often. A lot of times it simply doesn't take that much energy away from me, so the stretch isn't really required. But again, if you want to fly long distances, then definitely it's cool, and at the end of the day it's about having fun, so definitely why not. As for the build itself, you want to spam your 4 ability into a clump of enemies, but as you can see here, the tornadoes aren't very well reliable, let's say, simply because they have a bit of a mind of their own. Yes, they do kind of tend to go towards your cursor more or less, but again, not very reliable. Normally they kind of seek out enemies and do their thing. But again, playing Zephyr on the plains is a joy, an absolute joy. Again, especially if you don't have your Arcwing yet to be able to use it on the plains. You get faster than even the Arcwing because essentially she is a bit faster. And although those tornadoes everywhere are just a joy to use from my point of view. As far as efficiency goes, you're gonna have to ask somebody else. I know that it works and I'm having fun with it. And if that's enough for you, then well, it's pretty much enough for me as well. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe only if you enjoy the content. If you got any feedback for me or would like to let me know anything, please write it down in the comment section down below. I promise you I will read it. See you guys next time. Bye bye.